Hello, my loves, and welcome to another client spotlight. This is for you if you want to increase and strengthen your self-concept, your mindset around anything that you desire and want to call into your life. This episode is for you. I'm bringing on one of my clients that went through the Shatter Your Own Glass Ceilings experience. We are actually in the middle of enrollment. I'm so excited. This woman is incredible when it comes to mindset and her self-concept. She is an artist, an illustrator, a motion designer, educator, and the founder of DivineNY.com design studios. I am going to bring her on. We're going to be talking all about self-concept, mindset, her huge ahas and big ahas that she got from the program. So I'm going to bring her on here. Let's see. Just going to come on. Okay, I am so excited to talk about self-concept, mindset, and just motivation in general. So this is Rekha. She, like I said, is an artist, illustrator, motion designer, educator, a founder of DivineNY.com design studios. Hello, Rekha. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, and we're going to talk about a lot of the shifts and ahas that you had and are having still, and the results that you're calling in to this day. You went through one of the rounds of the Shatter Your Own Glass Ceilings experience, and I would love for you to just introduce yourself a little bit more, tell your story, however you want to tell your story, and just so everyone gets a little bit of a taste of who you are and what you do and why you got started. So I'll turn it over to you, my love.
Well, thanks, Kelly. Yeah, you did a great introduction. So thank you for that. But just to elaborate a little bit further on my journey, because it's been a whole sort of transition, especially in the last year. So prior to this year, I was more primarily product centric focused in my business, really focused on like e-commerce and selling product and handmade goods. And I still have a little bit of that, but I've really, this year, my focus was to make that transition to be more design services focused with the art and illustration and motion design and workshops for education. And so I've come a long way from January, where I kind of was setting these goals. And then I joined the Shatter Your Glass Ceiling program in April, which helped even further be more clear with what I was looking for and what I wanted to do. To now, I'm like, wow, like I really have been making that transition, and I'm seeing the results now, like after all of that sort of mindset and the work that we did in the Shatter Your Glass Ceiling. So that's really been helpful, just to now see it come to fruition more, from thinking about it to changing mindset to then now seeing the results.
Yeah. So your journey just over the years has been incredible. I've watched you grow and all of that. I would love to talk about, because you are so good. You've gotten so many results from the mindset and the self-concept work, right? Everyone is talking about, oh, adjust your mindset, have a great self-concept, all of that. And it is so important. Like, it is critical. It is the foundation. It is everything, in my opinion. I would love for you to talk about like what shifts, because it is sometimes the self-concept and the mindset work it's like peeling back the layers of the onions. It's so nuanced sometimes that it's like, oh, here's another aha. So I would love for you to just share like what was it within the program, and then also within yourself, like what is the mind, like how did you go about the mindset and the self-concept work? I mean, we did a lot of it in the program, and what helped you, like what would you say really helped you kind of in that work to get your results? And you can tell us the results too that you received from that work in particular.
Yeah, so I think one thing particular was the whole idea we talked about during the program was, the it's already done concept. And yes, I've always believed in that, but I don't know, time, like it was sort of enforced even more, like it's already done. And I think now I'm seeing the results of that, because what I've learned is like, yes, you believe it's already done, but you have to let it go. You can't be like, it's already done and keep thinking about it and comparing to your reality and it's not happening and all of that. So I think that's the big shift that, I made in this program. Like, okay, it's already done. And then I really just let it go. And it's taken like a couple of months, but I'm seeing results now, like things that we talked about back in April when I was in the program, that thinking like, okay, like it's already done, like for workshops, for example, like I'm educator in workshops, right? So those things, I wasn't really focused on that at that time because I wasn't sure, but it just started happening. It kind of started falling in my lap. I was teaching workshops and then I'm like, okay, maybe this is already done. Like I want to do this. And I had a certain like target in mind in terms of, the financial target that I want to make with that workshop revenue stream. And at that time I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to make this because I only had one client. And and I've not been, yes, I've been marketing, but not like heavy going after it. And then now suddenly in the last couple of days, I just shifted and I'm like, I'm hitting the revenue target that I wanted. I landed another client and it just kind of happened. And I think it was because I was already feeling it's already done. I know I am meant to be an educator and to teach. And, that is one part of my revenue stream. And I already knew that and I believed it was done. And now it really is kind of done. So actually not really, it is done.
It is done. Yeah,
Yeah.
so good. And even in the program, you had a client, right? Like just come out of, you had a couple of like,
Just
where
that,
the heck did that come from?
yes. And it was, yeah, exactly. Cause I was exploring that and just thinking like, okay, the client's already there. And it turned out it was. And that one client repeated multiple times. Like I thought it was just going to be like a one-time session. I ended up doing like 4 more workshops with them. And then I just did another one in July with them. And they're already talking to me. They want me to do more in the fall. So that's that one client. And then the second client that just happened in the last couple of days, that just sort of, and it was from a prior connection, but that connection just came back out of the blue. It's not like I was chasing that connection,
Love it. So tell us, right? So, because some people are sitting here watching this being like, what do you mean? It just like, Kate, tell us, how did you keep your mindset, right? And the self-concept work? Like, was there anything that helped you? Was it like repetitive every day? Did you write it down? Did you speak it out? Like, what helped you? Because I know you said the letting go piece of it, and that's so important. Like,
Yeah.
we want something and then we're like kind of like attached to it, and the letting go can be that's huge. But I would love, whether you want to dive into that or anything that helps you like really like stick to that work, stick to the work, the self-concept and the mindset work.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely letting it go, but that doesn't mean you let go of doing the work necessarily. Like I was still doing work related to that goal that I had
Yeah.
set. I was not like so attached to, I have to do like specific or whatever, attached to an outcome. I think that's what it was. And so I think like being accountable for the actions that I was taking, I think that was still important.
Mm.
Right? Because I would set like, okay, weekly we would set, I'm going to do these 3 actions or 5 actions or whatever it was, and being held accountable. Like, did you do those actions? Like, those are still important steps to do. So it's not like you just feel it, you get it done and you don't do anything. You still do your actions. You should still be accountable for all of that. But I think it's just like not being so attached to the outcome. So I was doing it and then I was enjoying the process. That was the other thing too. Like not just doing stuff because I had to. Yes, I had to, but I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
So things like enjoy it, be accountable, like have that accountability, and then really that mindset and like concept.
Yeah. And you really did like, and the group really helped you with that, right? Like it was
Like the being accountable and like the group really helped with that. And like I said, the whole mindset shift was like really, really big.
yeah. And I would even say this, and I don't know if you would agree or disagree, and you tell me, but I felt you also like, when you say enjoyed the process, I feel like you were also having fun.
Yeah.
Like, can you explain like, because that's also part of letting go. It's
Yeah.
like, so tell us a little bit more, like,
Yeah.
were you going out more? Like, tell us a
Yes.
little bit more about that.
Yeah, definitely the having fun. Because a couple of years ago, and you probably know this, Kelly, about me, a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
it was more like, no, 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 like every time like I had like was just work, work, work. But now, no, I mean, even I will stop like whatever work I'm doing because I have plans to go to dinner or meet with friends or, you know, take vacations or whatever. Like I'm being more intentional about that. And I'm like, well, work is always there. I'm not saying I'm not going to do the work. I'm not focused, but I'm like just all about, yes, you've got to have that balance. I think that's really important. So it's, you do need to pause. You need to go out and celebrate and just, you know, live your life and have fun with that. So that the work, when you come back to doing your work stuff, it just flows better and it's just easier. And you're not like feeling stuck, just spinning your wheels type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're getting like we're diving into like the energetics of it, right? Because like you said, it's the letting go. It's you're like it's already done. So if it's already done, how would you proceed?
Right. Exactly. You just you wouldn't be stressing about it. You wouldn't be worried about it. You're just like living your life. You're just doing different things. So yeah, that mindset shift was really big as well. So
Yeah. So for the people that are like, I haven't seen my stuff yet. I haven't seen my stuff yet. I am actually doing some of this work. I am doing it. What would you say? Like what helped you in those moments of when you weren't seeing your stuff yet, right? Because like you said, sometimes there is a waiting period and sometimes not.
yeah.
Your clients like came out of the blue and they came out, but you were also doing the work. So like what would you say to yourself or the people that are in that kind of like, okay, like where's my stuff? I've been doing the work.
Yeah, so I think that like the big thing, yes, I've been doing the work, and I've been doing the work for a while, but I think it's that holding on, like not letting it go. Like that was the big thing I did this year, was to really let it go and not so focused on that one thing. And I think part because I've been in this sort of transition, I've been like, you know, curious about so many different things. So I didn't have really like time to be just focused on one thing. I'd be like, oh, what, like the next thing, I'm like, oh, what is this? What is that? So I think that the whole idea of just letting it go, like do the work, do the mindset work, do the actual work, but then really letting it, like that's always been hard for me to like completely let go. And I think when I've been able to do that, that's the actual outcome of it.
Yeah. And when you say letting go, is it for you? Is it, okay, we're going to play here. We're going to go to another side of the business. Like you said, I'm not going to focus on it as intently, or I'm going to focus on it intently and then let it go. Like, was there any kind, or is it all kind of different variations that you did or tried or was
Yeah,
being?
different variations. I think it's like letting go and like I said, going out and having fun, right? Like not even thinking about it, just going out and doing other stuff and not thinking about it at all. And then even when I was shifting, like looking at other parts of my business and other things I was trying to do in my business, then my energy just focused on that. Then I wasn't thinking about the one thing that I've been like trying to build. And I think that's when then it started happening. And then I'm like, oh, I really should focus on that some more because now the clients are there and I really do need to define my programs for my workshops. And I do need to revamp the website for my workshop. Like all of that action kind of came a little bit more after like the client came and I'm like, oh, okay, now I should spend more time on this. Whereas before I would probably go much deeper, like, oh, I need to do all of these things before I could, you know, think about the client or whatever, like something like that. So I think that was a big shift because now I'm like, okay, I'm adjusting to things as they are happening, and that's just a different way because then you're really like kind of letting it go. You're not so attached to it.
I love that. And that's so important for everyone listening because I myself have been like that where I'll create a program. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to teach X, Y, and Z and have it all like, and put so much, it's going to be like, it's going to be the best program. And then the people get in the program and it's like, that's not even what they need.
Right.
Even if it's like, I identified my niche and the people I'm serving. And like, even with your cohort, I had certain things I wanted to teach and wanted to bring you guys through, and I didn't get through a lot of it because that's not what the group or individually you needed.
Right.
So I love that you said that because we get to, what I'm hearing is like, we get to shape shift, like I mean, yes, have a structure, have a starting point, and even have it organized, but it's like, you're going to need to know certain different things when the client shows up, and maybe the client has different requests, and not to be like, oh, out of the statement, out of work, like not so out of what they hired you for, or they're coming
Right.
to you for, but so that's what I'm hearing is like flexibility.
Yes, absolutely be flexible for sure. Yeah. And being able to shift and And then that goes like, if you're not so attached to that specific outcome, you can be flexible, and then you just get a much better outcome after that.
Yeah. How do you stay, I would say, relaxed, right? Because there's this mantra, right? The more relaxed I am, the more I receive, right? And if someone's really waiting, and I know you've been in this situation, I have been too, you're really like, and this kind of comes to like, you're really focused on that client or that revenue goal that month, or you're just really like, I need this to happen, right? How do you stay relaxed and in the letting go energy and with the mindset? Like, are you just accountable and just like keep your head down and know it's already done? Like, what are some other things that you've done, would you say, to keep yourself grounded?
Yeah, I'm big on, like, especially in the summertime, like going out walking every day. So that's like, I just put my music on and just walk, and I'm not thinking about like, work or anything like that. Like absorbing, like being inspired, just going outside. I think that's sort of a critical thing. I try to make that a point every day to go walking. And then, I'm not as good with the daily meditation, but I do try, like, even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes, I try to do some daily meditation. Like I said, I'm not always as consistent, but I think it does help, like whatever I'm doing. So I do that. And, I will, maybe just stick to 3 things I want to get done. Like I may have in my head, I want to do 10 things, but I really just write down 3 things and I focus on getting those 3 things done, as opposed to a list of 10, because then it gets overwhelming and then sometimes you don't end up doing anything. So, and then it's just more time for the creative play. Like I've really been creatively, like just doing different kinds of artwork that I don't normally do, and like joining up for different watercolor classes and just different things that I don't normally do. Like I'm really pushing myself for that creative play also. So that really helps, because again, then you're inspired differently and just different ideas come to me that I didn't think of before. So that's something that's really important as well.
I love that. It's like you're shattering your own glass ceilings in the play department. And it's like when we get out of our own way and our own boxes and the way we see things and the way we experience it, it's like different things come. It's like you're opening up space to other things. And that's why this program is like shatter your own glass ceilings in any way, right? It could be like, maybe you're stuck in the play and you're not like, it's like something's not working. It's like, I love that you just said that, because like getting out, like playing a different way, seeing things a different way. So you said also too, what helped you in the program was like the accountability piece of it.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it just like, oh, other eyes, or was it me that was watching you that was like, okay, like, shoot, I'm going to say something and it's going to be out there and now I got to do it. Like, what helped you with, or was it just like, okay, it's a weekly check-in? Like what was helping you in that process? Like how was that helpful for you?
Yeah, definitely you, because you definitely did for sure, which is very helpful. And then even with the group as well. But I think definitely you being able to, you remembered all of our actions, whatever we said we were going to do, and you followed up. So that was really helpful. And you asked different questions about that, and, kind of pushed us maybe to think differently about certain actions that we set, or even if the result was a different result, like you pushed us to think about it differently. So that was really helpful. But I think just, setting like, whatever number of actions you were going to set for yourself, and then be accountable to that. That was just helpful also, just accountability factor.
You were so good. You're like, I got it done. I was like, yes. And you're like, and I got this done. I was like, you are on a roll. Because and sometimes I'm like that too. It's like, okay, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna say I'm gonna do. I'm only gonna commit to what I know I can absolutely do. And then if I want to do more, then I'll do more. But it's like, nope, it's only to be like, and I think you said this too, like 1 to 3 things like that I'm definitely doing that's gonna move the needle. And you were doing things like, a lot of your accountability was like moving the needle. Like totally. It was like, I'm gonna do these 3 things and they're gonna move the needle. And that's it. So, and moving the needle could be anything. Like you could be, taking a walk could be moving the needle, because that's your mental well-being. And that could like, really have you go, really have increase your results basically.
Yeah.
So I love that you said that, because you were so committed And you were really, what I loved about when you set your goals is like, okay, you were very intentional about it. And you're like, okay, I'm getting this done. And you would always hit them and more,
Yeah.
right? So I
And I
love
think
that.
Yeah, and I think too, like the one thing I've learned too, like the goal, or it doesn't have to be a huge action or a huge goal, like to move that needle. And I think that's the other thing to keep in mind. Like you don't have to do this big, great thing to feel like you're moving forward. It was like the little things almost are really what count, right? So I think that's a big, when you have like, it takes the pressure off, then you feel like you're making progress because you're like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing, and it may be a small thing, but it still moves the needle. And I think that's okay, and just being okay with that. I think that's also important.
Yeah. And I love that. It's like, because that's also what attracts momentum and self-confidence. And it actually reinstates like the self-concept that we talked about. It's like, oh, okay, I got this done and I got this done. So it makes you want to like do more, really. Um, so any last words that you would say around mindset or self-concept that you think would help people? Yeah, or anything in the group that was like a great takeaway for you? Any final kind of last words?
Yeah, I mean, I think the group was just good, community. Again, I think community is important, and having like-minded people that you connect with. Everybody is like creative, entrepreneurial. That's really nice. And then just I think even as a group, like that mindset shift that you do, not just individually, but as a group, right? That's really important too, because I think that's just more powerful. But yeah, I think like I said, the mindset shift of really like it's already done, like that thing is just been really huge for me, especially
Yeah,
for.
huge. And that's the foundational work that gets to be done, because if we don't lay that foundation, it's like, oh, we can get wobbly, and it's okay like to be
Yeah,
wobbly, but it's like, nope, like come back. And I think that's what like the group did too for people. It's like, nope, come back. This is right. It's like readjusting. I like to think about like going to a chiropractor. It's like, nope, readjusting, getting those limited beliefs out of the way.
yeah,
Um, so good. And I'm so excited. Like you had so many results, like financial results, like just clients coming out of nowhere. And I'm just so excited. And now it's like popcorn. It's still occurring. It's like the
yeah,
after effects.
yeah, exactly. So I'm excited for what's next, because like I said, the workshop stream is picking up, and I have
Yeah.
like, okay, now I can kind of think on what's the next stream that I want to focus on, and see how that
Yeah.
manifests and goes forward.
So yeah, so tell us kind of like what's next for you, or tell us, too, like where people can find you, what services you provide, because you do a lot. So yeah, and people obviously can find you on your Instagram, but tell us a little bit more.
Instagram, DivineNY is my Instagram. DivineNY is also my website. Yeah, so it's art, illustration. I'm really, actually, I'm doing a fun project right now, which I'm really excited about. It's a children's book illustration, and I love it. And I just finished taking a class in children's book illustration, and I'm just getting more and more deeper into this whole children's book illustration. So, yeah, I'm definitely to expand that. I've finished this one book project I'm working on, and just general illustration overall, and then the motion design and animation. I'm growing into that. Like also, I'm always like to learn, so I'm always like learning more as much as I can, because I think knowledge is always good, and learning from different people and programs. So yeah, I'm excited about all the things that are coming, and my workshops are like, I thought workshops were gone, but now they're definitely back, and I'm loving it. Like I love the workshops that I'm putting together and working with different organizations. I really love that. I want to continue with that as well. And yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Yes, you're up to like, I'm so excited for you because I know what's like ahead, and it's so exciting. And just everyone check her out. Go to the website, go to her Instagram. And are you taking on clients now? Like, what is your work
Yeah,
load?
no, still taking on clients. I mean, I know this book project has been keeping me a little bit busy, but it's gonna, like, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be wrapping this one up. And so yeah, I'm definitely taking on illustration clients. If people need, illustration for different projects, I'm definitely available for that.
Awesome. Okay. And so finally, after all of this, like Rekha just shared some amazing, tips around self-concept and mindset, accountability, focus. We are in the middle of the enrollment period for the Shatter Your Own Glass Ceilings experience, the next cohort. I'm so excited. We're starting actually in a couple weeks. If you are even just slightly interested, what is it? Like click the link in my bio, wherever it is, applications there. We'll see if it's a fit. I do make sure the energy of the group is just energetically a fit. So that's why I do interviews, to just see that you are the right fit for the program. So if you are interested, fill out the application. We'll have a chat, and we're starting in a few weeks. So thank you so much, Rekha, for your time, your energy. I'm so excited for you. I cannot wait to see what is next. You always have like these amazing things going on, and just really honored that you were part of this program, and you brought also your expertise to the collective. And may this video also serve the collective, whoever finds it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks
All
for
right.
Bye.
All right, bye everyone.